rock and I was possessed.
Hi everyone, this is Jay, we're back. Just more dungeons. Okay, so, wait, back, easy mode, there we go. Okay, so, I have a new build that I'm gonna try. I've been testing it out, it's been okay so far. So, this is what it's gonna be. I'm gonna have Unarmed Combat, Master of Arms, Blood Mage, Egyptian Magic. Egyptian Magic is really cool, and I'm going to explain what it is later on. I'm going to have Laywalker, Archaeology, and Magic Training. I'm going to explain what all of these do in a minute and why I have them. But first, Wooblrorx is going to go on an adventure. There we go. Okay. So, first thing I need to do, unequip my weapon. Second thing I need to do, explain what all of this is. Okay, so we're going to start off with Unarmed Combat. And what Unarmed Combat does is it gives us bonuses for when we're not equipped with weapons. And we get a lot of those. We get really strong if we're not equipped with weapons, which is going to be kind of important for this build. We're gonna start off with just this, like, but all of these things, like this one for example, the top two are damage types, so that means that if we have this, we do those damage types extra if we're not equipped. We also get an additional strength, like attack power, additional magic power. The third one is dodge chance. The fourth one is defensive bonus, and the last one is counter bonus. So we get a whole ton of bonuses for not having weapons, culminating in a really good all-round bonus for additional ethereal damage bonus. Second is Master of Arms, which gives us extra defense and extra health. This is I tried this build before, and the lack of defense was like a very big problem, and a lack of health. So that's why I have Master of Arms now. The second thing gives us Suit Up, which gives us extra damage resistances when we use it. Again, extra health, extra damage, defense, culminating in a really good defensive thing. This is good. We want this. Third one, Magic Training, gives us extra MP, extra magic power, and later on gives us quicker magic regen? No, it doesn't. Okay, but it does give us extra MP and extra magic power, which is what we want. Blood Magic gives us mana back every time we kill creature. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the other things. I don't know that yet, but I do want like this first ability. This is very important as well. Line Walker increases our mana regen. Thaumaturgic Tap is very important for this build, because it gives you 3 mana back every second, or like every turn cycle. These two give us quicker mana regen and more mana. I don't know what this is, I haven't used it yet, probably won't ever do it. Archaeology gives us this skill, it belongs in a museum, which allows us to trade treasures we find. So treasures are names with, or weapons with weird names, and it allows us to sell those to a museum, and in return we get XP equal to its value in cash, which is very important. These all, yeah, they all do things that we're probably never going to use, but this is the big one, Egyptian Magic. Okay, so what Egyptian Magic does is it gives us buffs that we have to turn on, and they're very good, but they cost mana every once in a while. They cost 1 mana. So I now have a thing that gives me 1 poison damage and 1 poison resistance. But this thing here shows that it costs 1 mana every 10 steps, or every 10 turns, basically. It costs 1 mana, and because my mana regen isn't that high, it's only 1 at this point, which gives me 1 mana every 4 steps, I think. I'm gonna need things that give me more mana, which is these things. So the later ones, Glyph of Imhotep, Glyph of Anubis and Glyph of the Eye of Ra all cost mana as well, but they have shorter cycles wherein I have to pay. But they get really, like, it gets really ridiculous. This is a very, very good skill set. I've been using it for a while now. It's very good. This Call of the Sandstorm is absolutely ridiculous. It gives me the easiest time clearing monster zoos I've ever had. Because it's like this area of attack spell that gets bigger for every Egyptian glyph you have active, and it's ridiculously strong. So that means I just do this, get all my mana back for blood magic, clear an entire room, and then I'm done. It's absolutely insane. So, and all the other skills here are basically there to support me using Egyptian magic. We have unarmed art, because that way we don't have to focus on finding weapons, and we can sell all the weapons, we can sell all the weapons we find back to a museum, and it belongs in a museum, which means we get XP faster, which means we get all these things, all the good stuff we want, we get that quicker. So I'm very curious if this build works. This is the first time I'm trying this specific build. This is the first time I'm trying magic training and all that in the same build. I'm currently have a robe on, which makes sense. I was expecting to have a cross on because I have Master of Arms, but I don't. So let's go. I'm very curious if this works. It's been kind of hit or miss, actually. The most vulnerable part in this build is the early game, actually. Or it used to be, because I didn't have a lot of defense, didn't have a lot of health. But as soon as I got the Glyph of Imhotep, so Glyph of Imhotep is a really good thing to have, because it empowers all your other glyphs, effectiveness, range. Like, I'll try to explain it once I get it. It's probably going to be the third skill we get. First focusing on Thaumaturgic Tap, so we can keep getting MP, and it belongs in a museum, so we can get faster XP. Probably gonna get it belongs in a museum first. Okay, so this is very good. Plate gives us resistances to everything, basically. It's really good, especially cold, because now I'm wearing a plate shirt. Yeah, but anyway, let's try. I'm gonna get a lot of these things. So the good thing about this is that now I don't have to focus. Okay. I don't have to focus on getting weapons, which is a very big part of, you know. So okay, so this gives us, it belongs in the museum, which allows us to trade in weapons or treasures we find for XP. This is good. So yeah, but the most other builds I've tried are really focused on getting certain weapons early, or like needing good weapons because Oshi don't really do anything. The other like kind of successful build I run has both maces and axes, which gives me good like damage spread. But the problem with it is that it sort of struggles if you don't find any good axes or maces, because I don't really like to mess with skills that make weapons and such, because it's such a hassle. It takes such a lot of time, and they don't really get good until they're fully fleshed out, which takes you 6 levels. And in those 6 levels, you're not really learning other things that you need. And before you really focus, and if you don't really focus on those other skills, you're like, if you don't really focus on the tinker skills, you're not going to be able to like use them until you're level 8 or something. Or no, wait, even later, because like level 16 or something, and then there's not a lot of point anymore. Plus, you are very dependent on getting like the good item drops. So that's why I don't really like them. Tinkering though is good. Tinkering is pretty good. Oh, I think because I have Unarmed Combat, I've suddenly become really good at disarming traps. I don't mind, because that means I can get extra XP as well. getting XP is good. My health is low. Let me eat an egg. So in Dungeon Dredmor you can eat raw eggs, and doesn't matter. So anyway, those are gladiator sandals. Those are good. Bash it open. There we go. As you see, I do still collect everything because getting gold is good. Because it allows me to sort of buy items when I get to a store. So the sandals give me +1 nimbleness, which is good. It's something I like. I think it increases my counter chance. Like, yeah, it does increase my counter chance. Increases my hit reduction on enemy. Oh yeah, okay, so it increases my chance to counter an attack, and my enemies become easier to hit for me. So that's good. Let me just punch this guy in the face. There we go. So there we go. Kick this, kick that. Not a lot of enemies here. They're probably gonna be on other levels. I just realized I technically lied last time. I'm sorry. I said I was gonna run a roguelike character, but I'm not. I've been really curious about this build because Egyptian magic seems to offer really high payoff. So I've been very curious how good it actually is, and this seems like a good time to test it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go with Thaumaturgic Tap. This allows me to basically get MP, get a lot of MP back whenever I need it. I'm reordering my skills here because I like to have all the Egyptian things on the same line. Although probably later on I might put all of those on a separate bar. Because as you can see here, you can have multiple skill bars. I might go put the Egyptian ones in a separate line if I'm not really using them all that often, or at least the glyphs that I get to activate, just so they don't really take up that much space in my regular skill tree or skill bar. So this is a store. I don't know if I found a store last time, but right now I'm going to sell all my weapons because I don't need those. I think I am going to keep the arrows just in case I want to use them later on. I'm going to keep the food. I am going to sell all the crafting materials. Fairy Wonger gives me MP, which I'm not have Thaumaturgic Tap. Hyperborean Potion gives me extra ice damage. I don't really like to use potions, and neither do I like to use poisons because they're kind of weird to use, because they're either only last for a certain while, or they don't really they're not really worth the effort. The only potions I tend to use are the mana ones, the HP ones, and there's a potion that takes care of all your health or your debuffs, which is good. So I'm not gonna buy the Rough Bronze Cuirass, even though I do have Master of Arms, because it reduces my magic power, which I really need. Because I have the fedora on, because I am an archaeologist, which is obviously based on Indiana Jones. I am gonna keep my. I'm not gonna buy a traffic cone. I don't need all of this. I am gonna buy a little black book, which gives me extra damage, which is good. I think I am going to keep my orb and my little black book. Little black book doesn't technically count as a weapon, it's a tome. So that means I still get, yeah, I still get the bonuses I get from Unarmed Combat. So that's good. If I wasn't running the orb, if I wasn't using the orb, I would buy 2 black books now. That's savvy. Affects magical haywire chance and sneakiness. I might buy this. No, sorry, this one. This gives me fire resistance, which, yeah, I'm not really gonna use. not gonna buy a trap. I am gonna buy a collar, I think, just because extra defense is never bad. I'll have to remember that it has the ring here. No, I have enough money, and I don't need anything else here. I'll buy Infro, the Sufferer of whatever, Pacha. It is worth 425 Zirkit if I sell it, which means if I find a better ring than this one, this ring is going to be worth 400 something XP, which is good. I'll have this little experience cache stored up. Let me just kick the door in. Oh, that's B. Arthur. B. Arthur is a hero, or like a special enemy, and she's worth a lot of XP. And I'm gonna kick her butt. Sorry, B. Arthur. So she was worth 240 XP, which is pretty good. I'm not sure what the stone pillar here does, nor do I know what the weird wall fungus does. The fact that I walked right into that trap's a shame, because that was worth 30 XP. There we go. There we go. There we go. Tons of XP here, that's good. So, the way this specific build works is that I try to get experience as fast as possible, try to get all my glyphs up as fast as possible, and just become really strong really quickly. And then, I don't know if this, I must admit that I don't really know how good this build is late game, because I haven't really reached late game yet. Because I usually mess up at some point, even though I'm going really well, just like I did in my last run, which you unfortunately got to witness. Like, I still don't really know what happened there. I rewatched the video. It seems that I unwittingly, grabbed an item that for some reason I couldn't drop, and every time I tried to drop it on an enemy, it counted as having done something for my turn, which means that the enemies could attack me, and because I was continuously clicking on the enemies, they were continuously getting free attacks, which is unfortunate. It's not necessarily a glitch because the game didn't break, but it is something that I personally didn't account for. So I would say it was my fault, but it's not nice. Okay, so this is I know what this room does. There's a treasure here, which I am gonna grab because it ups my sagacity, which is a magic skill. It affects mana points and magic power, so that's good. And I'm gonna equip it now, just because it's good. The old foppish tunic is still there. Just sort this real quick. I'm gonna compare the flippy floppies to the sandals. Although I would get higher dodge chance, but I think higher counter chance and dodge reduction is probably better. Yeah, there are supposed to be guards in this room now. Oh, there they go. They're bats. Not too fond of bats. There we go. Because they have a pretty high dodge chance, which means that I will miss them often. Your princess is in another castle. Okay, so now that I have it belongs in a museum, a thaumaturgic tap, I think I should start to build the glyphs. So, I bought Glyph of Imhotep. What that does is, I'll show what it does. Or you can read it if you want. Call upon the powers of Imhotep, the great physician / architect / chancellor / priest / engineer / etc. Just think of him as the Egyptian fauns. So it's a pretty funny skill description, but it doesn't really say what it does. And it costs 1 MP every 8 steps. So there we go. So now the tax is up. It increases my disarming rate, so that means I can now more easily disarm traps. With a bit of luck, I can actually there we go. With a bit of luck, I can actually pick up traps now. I'm sorry. It also increases my trap sight radius, but my Glyph of the Asp is better now. Let me see if it works. Okay, so it didn't really work on this one. I think I need to get hit for it to do what I want to show you. Which I'm gonna do next time. I'll see you soon.